I'm here for a fun time, not a long time.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I
Mm.
know.
I'm for both.
Lance,
A fun
Lance
long
doesn't
time.
even have his voice
What?
either. So, like, what's going on over here?
Lance wants it big and long.
Yeah. Mm,
Ah, oh, that's
mm, mm, mm,
funny.
mm, mm. Oh,
Ah,
Oh my.
okay, wait a minute. What movie are we doing? Children.
Oh my God.
I
She's
children of
did
the
telling you to get it
corn.
together.
I did the notes,
Yeah,
both
we
of
know.
you
I got
little
the email.
hoes. So I'm just looking for like images here.
What, you don't want to be behind a green screen the whole time like last time?
Yeah. Ooh, the shade.
You know what? It's 2024. So we are not, Ada's not putting up with your shit anymore. It is 2024.
No more.
That
Not
No
one
rhymes.
more
more.
time.
It's
Over with.
2024, not putting up with your shit anymore. Look, she's already
No
writing a
more.
rap song.
Why did they do that? They superimpose the old one with the new one. Why
Hmm.
can't I just find like somebody who puts a whatever? I can't do this. All right.
Okay, we'll see you next episode.
No,
Sorry, green screen. You win
yeah.
this time.
I'm looking for Malachi. Like, where is he? Oh, there he is. I used to have the biggest
You
crush
can
on him
find
when I
him.
was a kid.
Oh, really?
I used to think he was so cute.
I'm
Trout
crushing
mouth.
a lot about you these days,
Well,
Abe.
you know, I mean, my affinity for toxic men knows no bounds,
Oh
clearly.
my God. You that dude's like known like for like being in so many 80s like those Skinamax movies.
Oh my.
What?
I didn't
Well,
see
Yeah,
that.
I mean, you would remember that.
I would, hence why I gave you the information to your weird crush.
Did he have a big one?
It was no, it was kind of that he was like in those little situations. He
Oh,
was always in the ones with the boob movies, where like all you see is the one girl go, ah, boob, here's my boobs. Dun, dun, dun. And then she runs off and he's
is
like,
that what they
ah,
did?
yeah, I'm
Hmm.
toxic man. Dun, dun, dun. Let's go chase after her,
Yeah,
guys.
we love boobs.
Yeah. I mean, nothing wrong with them, I guess.
They're okay.
Oh,
Mm,
really? Hmm.
mm.
Yeah. You know, this conversation is going nowhere.
Well, we're waiting for
Just like
you.
I'm trying to pick my Malachi picture. Don't you fucking do
She's
not.
gonna take 5 minutes picking a picture, and it's gonna be just like the one she chose, where it's behind her anyway, so it doesn't even
I
matter.
know. Well, that's why I have to like. I gotta pick a different one because now we can't see because my big ass head is in the
uh
way.
Nope.
oh God.
Frick. Oh wait,
Uh,
here's one. Here's one. Okay, one
oh,
more
how much I
time.
love Malachi. Mm.
Outlander. That's all I could. You know what? And oddly enough, I was thinking of you, Lance, when I was doing the notes because one of the Warlock movies came out the same year. So there you go.
I do love Warlock 1 and 2.
I think it was Warlock 4. I don't know. I put in the
Oh, I
notes.
didn't go that far.
Oh,
Hey,
I bet you
actually,
did.
your
Oh, that
favorite
guy
guy,
died.
in Malachi is actually in the Burbs as the creepy
Yeah,
dude with the big ass teeth.
I know. I know. All right. Do we have our
All
shots
right,
before we
yeah.
begin? Okay.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding.
I guess
Uh,
Lance doesn't have one.
Lance, I gave you one fucking command. Oh,
Was
what
there
is
a
it?
command for this?
There was. I legitimately
I'll
said,
go get one if you want me to go get one.
everyone get a shot ready. It's New Year's.
I didn't see that. I'll go get one. I'll be right back. It's not like
Demerit
you didn't
number
take a lifetime to
two.
get ready.
Ooh, and he sure is
Hurry
feeling
up.
good today. My goodness.
He really is.
Anyways, this is gonna be gross.
Yeah,
Mm.
well, happy fucking New
Happy
Year's.
New Year.
Hmm.
Actually, that wasn't that bad.
Uh, that was really bad.
I got peach whiskey in that one.
I
I
have
had
cinnamon
Whew.
whiskey.
Mm.
I am going off of like 3 hours of sleep, not because of anything fun, but I don't feel super like let's go for it. So I just got vodka, but I don't know if y'all have it. It's a Texas vodka called Enchanted Rock. Hello, because Enchanted Rock is here. And it's actually really smooth.
Ooh.
So
Nice.
What's so enchanted about it?
it's
Ooh.
literally a large rock that
Just
you
a large
climb.
rock.
It's a large rock north of Boston that you climb. And so
Oh,
it's called Enchanted Rock. And they make
Well,
good
once we come
vodka.
visit you, Mikey, we'll just all go there to that sweet, sweet rock and climb it.
Ooh,
hmm. Yeah, you'll get enchanted on the rock there.
we'll climb
Yeah.
something.
Whoop, whoop.
I will say that I looked damn fine last night. So if anybody sees my pictures, don't forget to give me a like.
Oh,
because I
it's
look
funny.
so
You
cute.
look pregnant in one of them, like because it's like the angle one, and because I guess it's your hip or something, and you have your hand on it, but it looks like you're twisted like this, and you have your hand on your stomach. And I was like, at a quick glance, it looks like you have your hand like over like a pregnant belly.
I take it back. Apparently, I look shocked up.
That's so.
Pregnant people can be pretty.
Yes. Yes, they can.
Ew.
Actually, pregnant people sometimes are the prettiest because your body
Mhm.
changes,
There it is.
which is why you didn't look pregnant. But anyways.
Jesus.
Look,
I'm really shocked with this
I'll
one.
draw it out for you in the chat so I can outline what it looks like.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see that picture that he's talking about, because I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, go ahead and slide into Mikey's DMs there on Instagram. 4.5 shell, my little hoe and a half shell over here.
Yeah.
Uh,
Or you can just look at our New Year's Eve pictures that I'm not a part of, and you'll see the picture of Aid.
Oh, do I look pregnant in that picture? Is that the picture you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the one where you can see. I guess it's your hand is on like your thigh or your
Oh my god.
hip or something. But at a quick glance, it looks like you're like twisting your body, and it's your hands on like a stomach.
I see what you're saying.
Like if you look at it far away, it looks like you're like this. Like
And this concludes my final episode of Slash Podcast.
Don't worry, folks. Don't worry. She's not pregnant. That's what she's drinking.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, folks, if you would have realized at the beginning of this episode, I was the one in trouble. Now it's just Mikey.
Oh, just wait till it starts.
Oh.
Wait until we start.
1, 2, 3, 4. Just trying to stay alive. Some days I wanna die, but I don't wanna say goodbye.
This is Slashers, your new favorite podcast about your new favorite or old favorite horror media. My name is Aid, and with me, as always, are my esteemed colleagues, co-hosts, and cohorts, my boo-boo Mikey. Thank you, Mikey. And for some reason, Lance, who's suspiciously quiet today, so he must be hungover.
I don't know if I'm hungover, more as the fact that
He's in
you two are
trouble.
doing you're doing you, and I'm just gonna stay real quiet.
Because
then-
he's in trouble.
Yeah, I'm in trouble,
Yeah.
but at the same time,
Yeah.
you two go at it with each other, and I go, oh, they'll forget about me if I roll in the background.
No.
No,
we
we
will
did
not forget that we
forget.
are 3 hours delayed.
We are 3 hours delayed. And and that was the thing, because I was like, we can do it now because I only had one mimosa. Now I've had like 4 mimosas.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you for reminding us, Lance. So we have been waiting for Lance to finish one movie.
Oh,
Well,
both
first of
movies.
all,
I
these
hadn't
movies
seen
are
either one.
so fucking old. How have you not seen them? 1. And 2, like,
I've seen one before. I just couldn't remember. It's been a while.
this has been on the books. We even talked whatever.
I've
For
been
real.
really
Shut.
busy.
The
Really busy.
oldest one out of all of us, and he's the youngest one who behaves it, that's for sure. So here we
Mhm.
are.
Yeah.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We're late. But it's New Year's, so happy New Year's, goons. And I hope that y'all had a fun and safe New Year's Eve. I ran into one of my students. That was a lot of fun. But at least I looked cute, or pregnant, as Mikey says. So there's
Just
that.
in the picture.
Just in the picture. Thank you.
She looked glowing, folks.
Do we need to put a poll on Instagram?
Pregnant, drinking my
Oh.
drink in the middle of Thornton Park. Oh my God. Please, everyone already thinks I'm fat anyways.
Oh.
Whatever.
Oh.
It's fine. Ooh. I mean, according to 2006, I am fat. Like, this is pretty fat. Like, come on now.
Well,
We need to
according to
bring back.
2024.
I know we need to bring back the early 2000s body shaming because when we were all that thin, we were all happier. I'm just gonna say that right now. Anyways,
I didn't even realize I was thin when I was thin. So
I know that's what I'm saying. We're so
slut phase
skinny.
wasted. I know.
I know. Anyways, so I hope you guys are getting your 10-year challenge pictures ready. I'm really curious to see what some of us some of us look like 10 years younger. So that'll be interesting. Hmm.
Uh-huh.
Hmm. And we'll post those at some point. I also posted today too. So if you guys haven't seen, we also posted our top 10 of the years. If you listened to last week's episode, hopefully you did. If you haven't, we did post our list there for you. So if you agree or disagree, just make sure you let us know in the comments or drop us a DM or tell Mikey he's a hoe and his list sucks, or Lance's list is just all Shutter crap, as usual.
Whoa! Why are we shutting down Shutter? Why are we shutting down Shutter?
Oh.
Shutter's a great platform for awesome horror movies, folks.
It is a great platform, and it's hilarious because I seem to have all of you on it with me, so it's like a big family. Anyways,
Yes.
I know. So, what are we calling this? Cornuary?
Pornographic January.
Corner porn? Is that that's
Children
the
of the
original?
Cornuary. Like but you had a good
I wanted to
title
call
for
it. I wanted to call it corner porn because I wanted to play sound clips of the movies and sound clips of porn and try to get you to figure out which one was porn and which one was the movie. But I didn't have time.
Oh, we didn't have time to find clips of porn.
Mm-mm. No, I had those,
I
but
know.
I didn't have the clips ready.
Oh my God.
Flip that, reverse it.
Yeah.
Mikey's like, I
Okay.
definitely have porn.
No,
Yeah.
but you really did have a good name for this month, and now I wish I could remember. And it's, of course, the text messages in my old phone. I got a new phone for Christmas. Santa was good to me this year, y'all. So
Mhm.
I know I finally have a decent camera. So yeah, I don't know. But whatever. The whole month we are bowing our heads down to He who walks behind the rose, with
The
every
thorn.
single.
It's a kiss on the rose of the grave.
Mr. Amaro, would you mind or refrain from interrupting me, please? Thank you.
It was the thorn. I literally just watched these movies. I know exactly what they just said.
The
You
thorn.
already
It
interrupted
was
our whole day. Now you're going to
word.
interrupt her.
I was on a roll. Anyways, we are doing every single Children of the Corn, and it was so funny because I was making the folders today, and I was like, oh fuck, I forgot about that one. That last one that was
7.
The 666 one?
not the 666 one. It's one right after that.
The genocide one?
Generations or genocide?
The
This is-
genocide. Oh my God.
Genesis?
Lance.
Ugh,
Oh
Lance.
my God.
We're
No,
not talking about Palestine this episode.
my gosh, I knew you were gonna say Palestine. No, what is it? It's the
Revelations, genocide.
It's
I mean,
not.
Genesis. God damn it, Lance.
Yes.
Okay, well, if we weren't getting canceled before, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. Because it popped up today and I was like, I don't even think I've seen this shit. And I remember
Is it the first remake that Sci-Fi did?
yeah,
Yeah.
you or Jason said that
I
Sci-Fi had
liked
done
it.
it. I thought it was Revelations, but it's
It
not
has
Revelations.
the girl from Carrie, I believe, in it. No.
It's got Billy Drago in it. And no, yeah, it's Callan Coleman. What is she in? She's in something. Anyways, but yeah, it's called Children of the Corn Genesis. So that is the remake for
Close
sci-fi,
enough.
right? It's on Genesis, not the other. Thank you very much. Anyways, but we're not talking about that one today. We're talking about parts 1 and 2. So we were gonna
Yes.
try and separate, keep one by itself, but we decided to do our top 10 last week. So now we have, oh my God, I look rough today. Jesus. we decided to do our we're just going to go ahead and group them together. So today we're going to talk about 1 and 2 because actually this is a pretty decent franchise. I don't know how y'all feel, but this particular franchise, in my opinion, I think has a lot of solid winners. And it's not talked about enough. So I'm actually glad that you posited this for January, Mikey. So great idea. I'm really excited
Thanks.
about it because I'm really happy to revisit some of these because I love part three is my favorite. Like
Um,
hands down, part three is my favorite. But I didn't realize like how good two was until I rewatched it. So I'm actually really excited to talk about both of these today. So I don't know how well, Mikey, how do you feel about the franchise?
so I have not seen the franchise, and so last year, two people, I think Austin and Jason, on separate times mentioned that they went on a Children of the Corn binge or whatever you call where you watch all of them. And
Yeah.
I've never cared about them because as a kid I always thought Children of the Corn was just like a bunch of psycho kids that were killing people. And that didn't really scare me. I was more into like the monsters and ghosts and demons and
Yeah.
stuff. And so I
Mhm.
always just thought it was just, the creepy kids killing people. And so I actually the first one I did see, well, besides the sci-fi remake one, was the remake, the remake, the big one that just
Oh,
came out last year.
the one on Shutter.
Yes, and
Okay.
BT Dubs, this is the one movie I've ever heard Austin hate. So
Wow.
just saying that's huge. That's
That's a lot.
breaking Telemundo news.
Well,
Either
But
that or you probably like it a lot then, because you never
well,
know.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it a lot, but I put it on. Doug and I. It was when I was in California staying with Doug, and we were waiting for my plane because I kept getting every hour a delay, and it was like a 5 hour delay. So I was like, well, let's just watch something. So we just put it on, and me and Doug were both pretty much like,
oh,
this is
I'm
decent. The
so
little
glad you
girl.
got to wait at the house and not have to sit at
Oh
the
yeah,
fucking airport for 2 days like I did. Anyways, continue.
yeah. Thankfully, they texted me before I left. Um, but I was watching it and I was like, okay, because in the sci-fi one, they actually bring in the demon out at the end. And so you're like, I was like, oh,
Mm.
there's actually like a spiritual element, like demonic element to this. Like, that's interesting. And I thought the original just didn't. I thought that was something they added. And so I saw the remake, and the remake is all about the demon. They show it pretty much throughout the whole thing. And even though it definitely has its flaws, CGI is way overutilized. The little girl who plays like the female Isaac does really good. But it made me interested to rewatch the original. And so after Jason and you and everybody was talking about it, I was like, let's do a month about it because I actually want to watch these now. And here we are.
I
And
know.
I don't know if we're saving our reviews for later, but
Well, no, we can say, I mean, I just figured that we talk about both of them because I honestly feel like both of these are theatrical releases. So I
mhm.
just wanted to put that out there right now. The
Yes.
first one comes out in 84. The second one was released in 92 in Germany, but it didn't come out until January of 93 here.
Yeah.
So I'm basing it
9
on
years.
9 years. So there's a 9 years difference. And Stephen King is quoted saying, I think in 2016, he said that he could do without all the sequels.
I it's
But you know what? I don't really think he's a big fan of a lot of his film adaptations.
Yeah, he's
Anyways.
not. And one of the things I saw, because I actually did a lot of research for these movies, just because I know there's going to be a lot of content, especially for the original one, just because it's kind of an influential movie in horror.
Mhm.
The biggest surprise was that critics did not like it, and it's I always thought it was like a classic because it's inspired so many movies. Like, and another reason why I wasn't always a big fan of like going back to the original is because how many movies do we have that start off like this, where the boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, and wife, whatever, are driving down a farm? Or even Jeepers Creepers starts off like that, but
Yeah.
definitely goes on its own way. Um,
They filmed
but
that in Ocala.
yeah, uh, but it just didn't seem like anything
Mm.
interesting. So I also had to like put on my special goggles that reminded me, pretend none of those movies existed and that this was the first one. Um, Stephen King, when they brought him on, they purchased the rights. He wrote a script that actually went into the background of a lot of the kids. And the first like 30 pages of the script are the husband and wife fighting. And whoever remade the script changed it to where we have the point of view of the two kids, Job and Jeanette. I don't know what her name is. But Stephen King was like,
Susie.
yeah, whatever. Stephen King was like, no, that's not my story. Like that's not. And so they were like going back and forth a lot. To the producer pretty much had to be like, look,
Should have
homie.
been Sarah.
Okay, Sarah.
Oh yeah, Mister, I just saw it. I know everything.
Mm.
So Stephen, and so they basically had to like have to have a come to Jesus meeting with Stephen King and be like, look, the world of books is very different to the world of movies. And so they had to be like, this is why we have to take this direction. So there was a lot of already back and forth of Stephen King being like, that's not what I envisioned, but they did what they did. And
Well, and let's remind the world that he at this time he was on a lot of different substances and was all over the
he
place.
who walks behind
So,
the Coke.
yes, you definitely walk behind that Coke. So, and I'm not saying that against it, but like you read some of his shit and you're like, oh, this man is definitely on drugs. And so
Oh yeah.
like the film adaptations, I, my favorite being obviously Carrie. Brian De Palma is amazing, but like this one I think is just so good. I used to watch this all the time as a kid because like it was just involved children. Like it was such a cool concept to me, like so fucking cool that like I mean not that they killed their parents or anything, but like, basically like all the kids were just, living their lives in this little village, right, by themselves. And so like and obviously we know I love Malachi. And Malachi is so like these both Malachi and Isaac are very like horrific and scary fucking characters.
Yeah. It's
And
Hillary and Donald Trump.
yeah, pretty much. And and like and that's my thing is that, for children, I mean, obviously the actor who plays uh Isaac, what's his name? John Franklin, he was 24 at the time. I think he has whatever, I mean, he has some kind of something or whatever, which is
Like
why
a
he
growth
looks so
disease or something like that, so he can't
You mean Isaac?
yeah,
collar.
The guy who plays
yeah,
Isaac?
Isaac.
Okay.
Yeah, John
Yeah.
Franklin who plays Isaac.
Oh, I thought he was a kid. I was like, this kid has the most punchable face I've ever seen in movies.
No, he was 24. Oh,
Why
he
it
was born
works.
on he was born on June 16. I'm born on June 17. Hey, Gemini buddies. Hello. See, I
Mm.
could totally ring in a huge cult of children and just, go crazy. That'd be fun.
Says the
Um,
teacher.
I know, right?
oh,
There you go.
yeah, I guess I do that already.
Here's the leader of the future, everybody.
I know, like she's saying it like she's not an actual teacher who ring in children all day long, folks.
Whatever. They drive me crazy. Anyways, but yeah, so and like what I forget what he is. He has a growth hormone deficiency. And so he's barely 5 foot. And so that's why he looks so very small and
Huh,
whatever. But he's
that's
actually an
interesting.
adult playing
Because
a child in the
we were
film.
recently talking about the actor who played young Grinch. When it says, does he have the same
Oh yeah,
thing?
yeah.
Yeah, he's a dwarf, the
Oh,
Grinch.
is he?
Yeah,
Because I
and
know
he
he
was
was
on
18 or something, right?
he was
Yeah, he was 18.
18, but he used to be on Passions. Remember
Oh,
Passions? Oh my
no.
God, I used to love Passions. And he
Speaking
was
of soap operas, that's where all the
yeah.
characters, that's where all the actors from part 2 came from.
Well, yeah, because part 2, Carrie from Days of Our Lives is in it, and yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much, yeah.
Well,
So
even in the first one, Peter Horton plays Bert, the main guy. He's very familiar looking. I've seen him in a lot, but most of what he does is TV. He
well,
hasn't
he's
really done
very
much.
handsome, and he was married to Michelle Pfeiffer for 7 years. So
Ooh.
He was
there
actually
you
one of
go.
one of my favorite like short-lived little tiny kind of series was called Brimstone, where he actually played a detective that ends up in hell for whatever reasons, and then he comes back to Earth with
Oh.
all these tattoos, and he's sent by Satan to actually like
Ooh.
recapture all the criminals or evil doing demons from hell to bring them back to hell for Satan.
Well, that's real nice of Satan.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds like every man I've
Exactly.
ever dated. Yay.
Yeah, but it was one of my favorite little like short series, and I love that. Brimstone was really good. He was in that, and I think he was also in some like cheesy '90s thing called Something 30 or whatever.
Yeah, I mean Peter Horton, he was famous. I mean, he was much bigger back then. He's very handsome, and of course we have Linda Hamilton, who, by the way, she's so adorable in this movie. Like,
How
because
old is she? She's like barely 20.
she's 65 now, I think, or 67.
Oh, really?
So what would she have been in 84? She would have been in her 20s, right?
Yeah, had to
So
be.
like your age, yeah.
Ooh.
Just kidding.
Um,
I'm kidding.
I have to
Um,
say, I did not know Linda Hamilton was in this movie until it started, and she was the biggest detractor for me. I didn't see, and I don't know if it's because of Terminator or what, but I just don't see her as a helpless victim.
was this before?
I get
This was
that.
before
No,
Terminator, the first one,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Uh,
this was before, I believe.
Before the
yeah.
first one. When did Terminator come out? Hold on. 'Cause didn't he do
It,
that?
it,
Oh
the first one might
gosh.
have came out, but the second one it didn't come out until a little bit. I think what 92 maybe.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, this was obvious. The second one came out in 91, but
Mm.
the first one came out. Oh my God, it came out in 84. So
Yeah, but she was
no,
weak
but
in that one too, quote unquote. For the
yeah,
first
Yeah.
Terminator.
she wasn't a fucking Hulk like she is
She looks
in
like everybody's high school gym
part
teacher,
two.
and you know they can fuck shit up. So I'm like, why is she sitting here with her ugly ass Bermuda shorts, acting like she can't beat this kid across the street?
No, I
Like,
feel that. Like, I totally feel that, Mikey, because it was definitely one of those things you're like sitting there going, just fucking pull out the shotgun and let's
yeah,
take.
Well, yeah, and then I, as a kid watching that because you're so used to watching, especially part two. What's the second one called? Why am I? Oh, Judgment Day. I'm like losing my mind today because the second one, like, I went to the movies to see it. Like that was like a big deal, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was a kid and it scared the shit out of me. Like when his
turns into
finger turned into
Mercury.
that. Yeah, and he
Yeah.
slid through the
Liquid
guy's
metal.
eyeball. Oh my God, that was like my introduction to horror right there. Was that movie. But and oh my God, why was I there? It was 91, so I would have been like 3 or 4 years old. Anyways, parenting at its
Well,
finest, clearly.
back then,
Uh,
movies stayed in the theater for a long time.
Yeah.
So, especially if they did well, it would be in the theater for like a year.
We get all
Uh,
that money.
yeah, so I guess she was not the same Sarah Connor as she is in Judgment Day, basically. So
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
but honestly, I thought she was so cute. I loved her hair. Like she was so cute at the beginning when she's doing a little song. Like that's not something stupid I do all the time. So, or maybe I got it from her. Who knows?
Did you catch the
Um,
cameo, by the way, guys?
Who?
the
Oh, Stephen
cameo.
King.
No. John Philibin.
I don't know who that is.
He was also in
So no.
No, I was like, he was in Return of the Living Dead. He was also in what was it? I think actually he's also in
Oh, you're talking about the 19-year-old who gets shirtless?
it has his chest carved in. I figured you
Yeah.
noticed that guy.
Because I was like, who are they portraying this person as?
What's his name? How do you spell his name? John.
John Philippine, like it says
Oh,
PHIL.
John Phillip.
Yeah, because
Okay.
he looked familiar. So when I was looking at the IMDb stuff, I looked him up, and I did notice he was in was it? What'd you say it was Return of the Living Dead? But
Yeah,
I
Return of the Living
honestly
Dead.
I don't know much about that movie. I've seen it twice, but I don't really know much other
Oh,
than
Oh my God, I love
Linnea
that
Quigley.
movie.
So I was like, okay, sure. But yeah, I was also because they like focused on his like torso for a very long time without showing his face, and I was like, is this Malachi? Like, there's no kids that would like be built like this because even though he's like 19, it's a man's body. It's not like a kid's body.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Well, I think he's also was
John
it?
Philbin. John Philbin. Yes, the one that the one that they strung up because they were about to kill him, right? Did they?
a sacrifice.
Did
Yeah,
they
he
kill
was the
him?
first one. I don't think they
They
ended
killed
up
him?
getting him.
No, they didn't end up killing him, right? Because something I forget what it was.
They interrupted it at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. I've seen this movie so many times. I did rewatch it at Christmas, but again, I was like dying. So
Actually,
I
Age,
don't
you
know.
like this? He was
Better
actually in
now.
a supposedly a Return of the Living Dead Part 3.
He still looks good though for
The one with the
63. I'm
lady with the
looking at him right
fingers.
now.
Yeah, which is A's one of her
Mhm.
favorite characters.
Oh my God. If I could be her, I would. She
You
is
can.
amazing. She's so fucking hot. Anyways,
Also in Point
um,
Break.
thank you, Lynn.
But,
I mean, the first, I think that I couldn't find a budget on it, but it did make what, $7 million. And so I think that, yeah, while they said it was a flop, I don't think it's a bad movie. Like, I don't know why people talk shit about this
that's a
movie.
flop in that time frame. That's weird.
The budget was 800,000 and it made 4.5 million worldwide.
Oh, that's not bad. I don't think for that
No,
time frame. Or
it
maybe it was.
grossed
I don't know.
14.6. No, it
Are you looking at
grossed
number one?
14.6. Yeah, for part one. Mhm.
I was looking on IMDb. That's what it told me. Yeah,
Yeah, well,
but
92 minutes. I don't think it was very long.
Both
But
the
go.
first and the second one are an hour and 32 minutes long. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
The Stephen King story, Children of the Corn. Have y'all read it at all?
Mm-mm.
No.
So it's not an actual book, but it's just a short
It's
story.
like a novella, right?
Yeah, and I even think it's shorter than that, but because it premiered in 1977's Penthouse magazine, so I thought that was cool.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Just shows you folks should do a short and you can get an actual movie from it.
Look at
Maybe.
titties and read about children murdering their parents. That's
It's just funny that
exciting.
Stephen King was writing for Penthouse.
You should go to that little what is it? That little what's that store? There's like a how can I think today? I'm sorry.
Wow.
New year, new me, and I'm still a hot mess.
Mimosas.
Mimosas.
Mimosas, thank you.
Yeah,
No,
like more mimosas in her mind.
no, it was like a flea market or whatever the hell. It's over by my nail salon. They had all those old penthouses in there. I wonder if they have that issue. You said it
Oh,
was
you're
in
talking about the
77?
Antiquity Mall?
Yes,
That
that.
place? It was like
I
the
don't remember the
Antiquity
fucking
Mall.
name of it. The Antiquity Mall. Jesus Christ. Yeah, the Antiquities are old fucking Playboys and penthouses they have in
She's like, where's that place that has a collection of old things? Where could that possibly be?
I know.
Oh,
They sell antiques and it's kind of shaped like a mall.
yeah.
What is it?
It's in a plaza. Damn it!
Yeah.
They
Why
made
is
me
this
put my
escaping me?
Anyways, now I want to go look for it. That was the whole point of the story. But anyways, continue,
just-
Mikey. I'm so sorry.
Hey, that would actually be pretty cool if you went there and be like, do you have any 1977 penthouse and just see what's in there?
You know, I bet you that place does actually. Now I think about it.
They do. Because remember I was like doesn't matter. Anyway.
Well, anyways, they're all sticky after
Um,
Aid looked through them, but
Thank you.
you're welcome. So the town that everything takes place in is called Gatlin.
Mhm.
And you know, Stephen King likes to have his little universes. So the town of Gatlin is mentioned in it. And then there's a little town next to Gatlin that they talk about called like Homestead or something.
Hemingford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is actually 2, isn't it?
That's in
That's
part
where
2.
2.
Yeah, that's where part 2 takes place, and that is mentioned in The Stand and
Stand.
1922. So
Nice.
I don't want to live in his universe because all these things are fucked up, and I'd
Yeah,
rather not be a part
nothing
of that.
good happens in his universe.
No. I you know what? And that's I think that the most disappointing, one of my favorite movies, but it's also so disappointing, it obviously is The Mist, right? And so
Mhm.
I don't even I've tried reading his books before and I just cannot get through them.
I'd like to meet him one day.
I would just be very interested in meeting him and his son. Why not?
Yeah.
Be like,
Um,
hey, I got my creep show shirt. Can someone sign
At
it,
least his
please?
son writes a little bit better than he does, actually.
Yeah, no, I
Well,
would say
his son
that
is
Joe
his son
Hill has
is
the
a more
better author.
condensed. Yeah, he's more condensed Stephen King, so he's easier to digest.
Yeah,
But I
because
hate
he
when
did
people,
Lock and Key.
yeah, I hate when people say this, but I'm gonna say it because this actually applies. But the themes in this movie are really relevant to today.
I mean,
Because one of the things that I was surprised was being shown, because this is an 80s movie, but it does feel like a
Mhm.
70s movie because it's early 80s, which means it was probably filmed like at 1980, 1981. It doesn't have the same 80s feel of when I typically think of an 80s horror movie. I think more like
Well,
Night of the Demons.
yeah, but you also have to look too where they are. So
Yeah.
like if you look in terms of like style and especially in the 80s, like anything rural or like middle America, like that bullshit, like nothing ever reached it, right? They
Yeah.
were the last to get anything.
Yeah.
So like most of the time when we see the 80s, we see like how it was in California and like on the East Coast and West Coast. but
Suburbia.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
see how it is in the middle of the
But I
middle
was
shit
surprised.
still.
Nebraska. Sorry, folks.
Oh my God, who would live there? Anyway, sorry, go
Lady
ahead,
Gaga's
Mikey.
from there. I was surprised
I'm
that
your biggest fan.
they had such a what's it called, like a narrative about religion that was pretty progressive. Even the guy, the main guy, was like, if your religion involves blah blah blah, then it's not a religion or something. And I was like, oh cool. He's like,
Oh, love and yeah, if it doesn't have any love or yeah, there was quite a few like you were saying like that
yeah.
moments you're like, oh wow,
Yeah.
even then, huh?
But even the power dynamic between Malachi and Isaac kind of bleeds into like our presidential stuff we have going
in
on.
our political system. Oh, of
So
course,
it's
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, because Malachi essentially is the muscle, and the thing is he follows Isaac, and their relationship is so interesting to me because like basically he is Isaac's like you know guard
Right-handed
dog,
man.
right? Yeah, like he does all of the things that Isaac cannot do, and then eventually turns on him. And I think that the one of the most beautiful parts of the film is when Isaac comes back and he's like Malachi. And it's just so creepy and so fun. And just to see that, he's not bullshitting. There is something in the corn
Yeah.
that
We
is
find out.
that is there. And we sort of know that there is something in the corn because it kills the kid in the beginning, right? And so we know that there's something off, but we really don't know, like, is it the kids just, is it in their heads? Like, are they imagining these things? But then you see that and I love that effect. And they actually used a wheelbarrow bucket flipped upside down, without wheels, like, and they put it under the dirt, and they dug
Oh,
this big ass trench to make that effect.
the
And they
tremors
actually,
effect.
yeah, and they actually
Yeah,
use it in
yeah.
part two. Like they
Yeah.
borrowed it, like part two, they uses the same footage. And I was reading, when I was doing my research, I was reading like these Boy Scouts like came and dug the trench for them.
Aw,
They wanted to come to the movie set, so they let them come in.
that's cute. It takes a village.
I know. So,
But
yeah.
oh, no,
But
go ahead.
Courtney Gaines is just saying that he actually got the role from using a prop knife on one of the casting assistants. So whatever he did to Linda Hamilton, that was his audition. And
Mm.
so and also too, like, that he loves this role. He thinks it's so cool that people are still scared of him to this day. His parents were not happy with him. People were just wanted nothing to do with him after that. And so I thought I wouldn't either. Like, he's scary. Hence why
Yeah,
he's
you
that
did.
goob. Well, of course, I thought he was hot. Um, I was a kid.
She's
He was
literally
a
lying to us
teenager
right in our
with long
face.
Yeah, I know.
hair.
Like my favorite moment is like you just sit here and she's like, "Oh yeah, the redhead. Yeah,
Yeah,
that flowy red hair he's got
I
going on.
know that pretty hair. Oh my
Yeah,
God,
and
I
then he's in the
know.
burbs and he has buck teeth and like a
I
bowl
know.
haircut and looks like Frankenstein's kid.
Well, obviously, he is a character actor. Thank you very much.
No, he's
Okay,
really
we
good
know we
though for
did,
what he
but
does.
he's great. Yeah, no, he's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Shout out to Wrath of Becky.
and he always reminds me. He always reminds me of that the redheaded kid from A Christmas Story.
I get
And
them
that
confused.
guy is hot too now. That guy's
He
actually really
is.
hot now. Yeah.
I get them
Wait, what
confused
kid?
because I was like the guy he's also in Freddy versus Jason. Because I was like,
Yeah,
wait,
he's
this is the
he's
guy
the
from
brother.
Yeah, so I got them confused with like who was who, and I was like, well, I guess I shouldn't say that in the episode.
He's in Resident Evil too, that one. What the hell's his name? Anyway, he's really hot too for a redhead. For gingers. I will say for gingers.
Sounds like you have no problem with gingers at all, actually.
Well,
You made
I
it
Dan
seem
don't.
has
like
red hair, so we want me.
yeah.
Like
It's like you made like I pick and choose which redhead I like. It's like no, you seem to like all of them. That's not even a question.
whatever. Anyway.
The final thought is that I have it did a really good job making me feel isolated. Like it takes place in this small town, small cornfield, like, and it felt like that. Only downside, of course, was just I couldn't believe Linda Hamilton was damsel in distress, and also some of those special effects at the end were a little shaky. But I was like, you know what? That wasn't that bad. Olivia wants to watch the second one. Let's give it a whirl. And that was not a good decision.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. I don't know if I would let my kids watch this. I'm like, I'm not giving them any fucking ideas. This is insane. Like,
Oh,
you
Olivia would
know,
never.
oh, please. She's so bored. She's got
I
nothing else
know.
to do,
I'm
Mikey.
so
You
bored.
better
I'm gonna
watch
kill my
out.
parents.
That means there's
Like,
going to be children around. I can do whatever I want, eat whatever I want, whenever I want.
But
Can't
at 19, you
imagine.
get killed.
Yeah.
and that's the thing. It was cute though, because at the beginning, like Job was complaining, it's like Isaac doesn't let us do anything. So essentially, he's still like their parent.
Yeah.
And so, whatever. So we'll segue into part two. So I love part one. I know that a lot of people don't like it. If you haven't seen it, it's currently streaming on. I think they're all streaming on Tubi or for part one is streaming on Tubi
And Shutter if you don't want commercials.
and Shudder, and then the rest of them are on HBO Max. So if you have HBO Max, great. Well, we'll go ahead and segue into part two because actually I had not seen part two. I'd only seen it once on TV so many years ago, and I couldn't remember a single thing. And Jason was saying how good it was, and I was like, actually, I can't. I've seen all of them so many times, and like I've never really watched part two again. And then they were all on HBO Max. I'm like, let me just watch it. I'm like, oh my god, it's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty fucking scary. Like I think that part two has a lot more scarier elements in it because you're not expecting it. Like when they're making out in the cornfields and the fucking hand.
Oh yeah.
Of course, AIDS. That's the one moment she remembers the most from this whole movie.
Surprised she
shut
didn't
up.
remember the
You
sex
just
scene.
watched it, you ass.
She's like, remember that one spot where
Oh.
they're making out with a hand?
I have chisme about the sex scene.
Oh,
Well, first
I
of all,
do.
I will just say the second one I really enjoyed. I feel like quality wise, it's not good of a movie as a first one, but I enjoyed it more of the first one because in the first one I was kind of like, okay, I could kind of like see myself looking at my phone here and there. But the second one I saw because I needed to stay up till midnight last night, so I was watching it and I felt like I
Oh,
felt
good idea, Mikey. Some of us should have done that
I
last
saw
night when
I saw
they
the eyes
came
that AIDS is
home.
giving me. Was like, oh my god.
Mhm.
You know, the only thing I have to say about this though is it's kind of like Blair Witch to Blair Witch 2. That's the kind of vibe I got from this because like Corn 1 basically was like there's no real blood, you don't see anything like directly. It's more of a like let your imagination guess what happened to each character when they get murdered or whatever. Like the scene where he cuts uh Hamilton's face out in the open and then he's holding her hand and the blood's all gone, like stuff like that, like kind of makes me laugh.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I agree. It's just a terrible example because I was literally about to say this is Rob Zombie's Children of the Corn because it was
Well, part
the
two.
yeah, the camp was extremely elevated.
Oh my god.
It didn't get into like silliness, but it was definitely a lot more campy.
Wait,
And there
you
was
didn't like the part where the lady gets crushed by the house and she goes, what a world, like Oz.
that
Like
was
the witch.
completely believable. Oh, yeah, and then her sister finds her. I'm like, this is exactly like Wizard of Oz. Like even the sister finds her. But yeah, so thank you for reminding me about that.
Yeah, it was like when I saw it, I'm like going, what is happening here right now? Though I have to admit, the scene where the kids are back there playing with a remote control car,
Mhm.
and those people, like the background scene is, or like forward scene is them playing bingo, those old people, and then you can see in the background is a lady like, why, what's going on? It's like I'm about to die.
Are you talking about when they shoot her into the store window?
Yeah. Well, in front of the truck out nowhere, but everybody keeps looking at this woman except the people playing bingo. It's like,
Well, they got shit to do. I mean, they got to win. Hello.
Bingo's serious business, Lance. You pay
It
money to be
really
there.
is.
I guess it is.
Exactly. It's like $5, and you could win 500.
don't come at me, bingo people, please. Like I do like bingo.
I know you're almost there, so it's okay.
Yes, I can't wait.
Bingo age.
B9, motherfuckers.
Oh, but also I was like, so after the lady gets crushed by the house, they dig a trench to get her out, and I'm like, why can't you just push the button for it to go back up?
It's not like they cut a line. It was like they just turned it off.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell's wrong?
So they actually convinced there was somebody moving their house in that city that they're filming in, and they actually convinced them to like stay a week so they could film that scene.
Oh,
Hey,
really?
That's pretty easy
Yeah,
money
because
though.
it was actually
Yeah.
I know.
That's crazy.
Because I was confused because I saw it and I was like, why is this house on so many boards? Like that doesn't look safe. And then I was like, oh, I remember she said she was moving her house.
Yeah, it was so random too because she goes, I'm gonna get my house and I'm gonna pick it up and get out of here. I'm like,
Yeah. Me and
are
my
you
house
being
getting outta here.
literal or are
Yeah.
you just joking with that?
How does
Like,
it even does that work? Like people can do that, right?
yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like do you have to like take anything out of the house? Like I'm so curious. Like I had so many
Well, yeah.
questions after that. I'm like, do you like pack everything up or just leave it all in the house and just let it
That I don't
Have you
know,
never
but
seen that?
I do know there was a whole show about it, but I do
Yeah.
know that every time you do it, there is structural damage that's going to be done to the house.
Well, of course, you can't just fucking
Well,
pick
well
up.
now they actually like literally cut the house in half and
Oh
then
yeah,
put
I've
it
seen
back
that.
together. It's like insane.
It's like,
Oh my
girl, just
God.
build a new one.
Just fucking
Yeah.
get a new house. Like, who has time for this?
I mean, if you hate the people around you, you don't want nobody owning that shit.
See,
Fuck
and
'em.
this is why no, but this movie is a precursor as for warning us to not move our houses because you may lose your kitty underneath it and then go under the house and just die.
Was
Like,
that a sexual thing?
Yeah, I
well,
was gonna
that's
say,
why she
where
went
is
under
this
the house
going?
I
for the
lost my kitty
cat.
under this house.
But
No.
that's, but
Does it make it
that's
even
what
weirder when the kid picked it up and he's
I
like, "Nice pussycat, nice."
I
I
know. And I would have been pissed. I would have been more pissed that he fucking picked up my cat than he dropped in the house on me. But anyway.
I would like to give a special shout out to the extra Children of the Corn with the long hair for having the most punchable face in part 2.
Well, they're all extras pretty much in part 2, except for the main cast.
Yeah, that's true.
So they're all like local people.
Mm.
And my thing is like, okay, so when everything happened, and part 2 is interesting to me because basically it starts from like picks up from where part 1 left off, but it's so many years later, right? And basically, like they've got to put all these kids somewhere. Like we gotta find homes for these kids. And I'm like, why? Like
Oh, I
put them
know.
in
She's like, you should use your house. I was like, fuck no. All these kids just killed people.
yeah, they
That's why she
killed
wanted to take her house
killed
and herself.
all of the adults and the fucking and the only like everybody speak. Put them in an institution. Do something else with
These kids
them.
are automatically untrustworthy.
I'm
Yeah,
not
I'm
putting
pretty
them in
sure
my
that if
house.
that happened in real life, they would not go in the foster system.
No, of
No.
course not. They're like,
Jesus.
oh, we're just gonna put them in a school bus and send them to the next town, and we're good.
And then the doctor's like checking their throats for some reason and
I
giving
like
them
giving him
lollipops.
lollies too. He's like, "Here's another lolly."
Yeah, he's just making sure they don't have scabies. I don't know. Like, I don't understand that.
Another
I-
precursor to COVID.
And then the whole thing.
No tonsillitis. Good, kids.
And then the big city chick, she's got a bed and breakfast in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like, you're not making any
Oh.
money.
The one that's called Come Sleep With Me.
So yeah, and this is my thing is so she and the main guy, they hated each other in real life. They did not want to do that sex scene.
Oh,
Makes it
really?
even better.
So they made a deal and they were like, we'll do the stupid sex scene if you can get it in 3 takes. So they did it in 3 takes and boom, done.
Wait,
Well,
which one? Which main one? Are we talking about the father and the lady
The
that owned the place?
father and
Oh.
the chick from
The only sex scene.
Seinfeld. I always remember her from Seinfeld. She's the one where she was dating George when he was the marine biologist.
Did you like her 90s shirt where it was just looked like a regular t-shirt with shoulder pads in it?
Oh
by the
yeah,
way?
yeah. That was
The
that
shoulder
was the
pads.
I
that
was like,
was the
why is that needed?
style.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
Because women had to look like with stately shoulders, that sort of thing. Just work out, man.
So
Like
sad.
pick up some dumbbells, bitch. We don't need no shoulder pads. Like, come on.
I don't know, but when that sex scene started, I was like, why
Oh.
are they so wet?
Yeah,
Like,
they were very sweety.
it
Like,
looked
what is
like they
that?
just came out of the lake.
Yeah, and it's not even human. Is it human in Nebraska? I don't even know.
think so. Even
Like-
if it is, usually like a couple little beads of sweat. Literally, when it starts, there's a drop going down the side of one of them.
Yeah,
Are-
they act like they were on the Titanic and
Are
they were
they
fogging up the
sick?
windows or something.
Probably all the lighting. They probably like back in those days, like they're like, all right, let's get all the lighting we can possibly do, and then shove you in
No.
there in some
They
tiny
just
room.
took somebody idiot
A
was
mister.
spraying them with a water bottle. Like, oh, we're having sex, so they have to be sweaty.
Someone who has not had sex made the sex scene.
Exactly. I go because usually if it only took a couple of minutes and nobody's breaking a sweat.
Oh
like,
god, where's Fabio?
And then the son walks by and is like, and then closes their door. I'm like, don't even touch the door. Just
That's
keep walking.
disgusting. Oh my god. If I saw that, I would have I would have a meltdown. That is so
He's like, I
fucking
hate
gross.
you, Dad, but in this case, go for it.
Yeah, he's like, get it, Dad.
I know. It is kind of ridiculous. You're right, Mikey. There's a lot of camp to it, but it's still good. Like
Yeah.
I love Carrie. I still call her Carrie. Christy Clark, which I thought was interesting because I guess she's also the sister in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2.
Mm.
So she's in 2 sequels that
I saw
came
it
out.
once and I never saw it again.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Lance
you
hates
guys
gay
need to
things.
stop shitting on that movie. I like that one.
I hate
I
to.
wouldn't You know,
Yeah.
it's funny, you hate too, but
Horrible.
everybody loves Jason Goes to Hell. And there's a fucking sperm hopping around from person to person. And nobody says anything about that.
So yeah, I don't see the issue. No, I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
yeah, I know you don't see the issue.
No, I like
Mm,
Jason X, so there that is.
mm.
I do like Jason X.
I do like,
Yeah.
well, see, that's why, because I was watching Jason X, I fell asleep, and then that one came on, so I was so confused.
Why are we going backwards?
I don't know, yeah. And why do we only have these two on Tubi? Like, there's no other Jason on Tubi. But anyway, so part two, I think, it is quintessentially 90s. It's very 90s. Like, it feels like it's 90s.
Yeah.
I don't, the whole dynamic with the father and the son and all of that, and then of course they have and this was very racist. They have
Oh,
the
the
Native
fantastical Native
American,
American.
The native
yeah,
to explain the reason why the land is in jeopardy. It's like, okay, that seems very 90s of
I
you.
do like when he's
very,
explaining it.
yeah.
He's explaining something about the land. The guy's like, so that's why all the kids killed their parents. He's like, no, they just went bad shit and decided to kill their parents.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
just went crazy, and that's the thing. It's like, you know, this whole entity is so interesting because even in this one too, you don't see it until the end. I think in part three, the entity sort of like carries on throughout the film, like you know that there's a presence there, but like I feel like one and two to they just like, you know, they throw it to the wayside. You kind of see some dirt moving, and then it's whatever, and
Yeah.
then the end is like the big production, right?
Well, I feel
So.
like too went a random direction of like decided to kind of try to have some kind of mystical thing, but then they also wanted to add in a like the people poison the land type vibe, so like a planet Earth kind of thing going on because it was very
Well,
popular in the 90s at that time. It's like we got to worry about the Earth and everything like that. So like they went with that kind of vibe, and then it was like, oh, they're messing up, and that's why the demon's really attacking them because you know you can't just have a demon hate adults, and kids can't just murder people just randomly because they're a cult kind of
Oh,
vibe.
yeah.
If Stephen King wrote the movie, we would all have these answers, apparently.
Yeah, seriously.
Well,
Did
but
you know?
he could have done without the sequel, so there we are.
Did you know the main guy was it Micah? He was actually in a Neverending Story 3.
As dog.
I wish it was.
But
I don't know what he
also,
was.
no, that was his character's name because I looked at
Oh, was it? I never
yeah.
saw it.
I just think it's funny how they're trying to pick like biblical names. It's like Isaac. What more? Not more. Oh, there is a Mordecai in number one, isn't there?
Yeah,
No,
Mordecai.
Malachi.
No, but there's also a
Malachi.
Mordecai.
Oh, I
Or is
don't
it in
know.
this one?
So they said Mordecai at some point, but then there
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like whatever you said his name was, and then Micah, and I'm like, these names are all stupid. But
They're all like
Biblical.
with an at the end.
I think
Like,
it's supposed to be that they're biblical names.
Well, it's very
Yeah.
Amish though, name wise, so too. So it's like,
Yeah.
but that's why they're dressed the way that they're dressed. They're very like modest, like little farming towns. They're just
well, Maine. I mean, not that far away from probably
Well-
where Stephen King was a whole class of Mormons. Like
I don't
probably got the idea from
know.
this, you know.
I mean,
mean,
he
like,
was
these are the
probably close to
Rumspringa
Amish,
kids.
yeah, because this all happened in
Rumspringa!
Nebraska, right? So,
Yeah.
and the funny thing is like, 'cause I went to Idaho years ago, and I remember thinking it's like Children of the Corn because, like, you know, everyone thinks of like when you think of Idaho, what do you think of? Like, what crop do you think of right away? You think of
Potatoes.
potatoes. No, it's like all fucking corn. It's all corn. The whole state is corn, and I'm just
Well, I mean,
like, oh
potatoes
my
grow
God.
underground, so you can't really see them.
Well, yeah, but you see, but the cornfields, and I've never been inside of a cornfield.
They're
Oh,
like,
you're
this doesn't seem very dangerous. Let's
You
go
know
with
what?
corn.
You guys are being disgusting right now. I know that you're making an insinuation of some kind.
No, we're
but
not. It's
it went
just
No.
right over my head.
Jenna, we're just
No.
explaining why you didn't see any potato.
Yeah,
Because they're
it's like,
underground.
I mean, even in this movie, the weird thing where it was like, the corn was alive.
Like a stump or something, right?
I mean,
Even
that
if
sounds
you
like
saw it, like you think you would be able to recognize it, and that's a potato. It's like, no, they'd probably be like, that's grass.
It's like a carrot. Like carrots have the
You
grass.
can't see a carrot from the road.
You
you
can see the
see the
top.
top
You
of it.
can
It's like
see
he's
the
like,
top
yeah,
when you pull
okay.
it, right?
now imagine you like this seeing little toppers of carrot trying to attack you. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Okay, so in this
Children of
episode
the
of Slashers Podcast, we reveal that we know nothing about produce.
Yes. Well, not we.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Okay.
2 of us know.
I hate all of you.
And Children of the Potatoes doesn't have the same ring to it.
You know that the tagline is actually a biblical tagline as well. So if we're going to talk about the names and stuff,
What is it?
and a child shall lead them. It comes from Isaiah 11:6 in the Old Testament, which reads, "And the wolf shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid," which I'm assuming a kid is like a lamb
It's a baby goat.
or goat. Yeah, because that's kind of gross. And
We
the
like to
calf
sacrifice
and
goats.
the calf and the young
Dumped over the
lion.
spoon.
You know, I'm trying to read from the Bible. Okay.
Oh, no wonder she's stumbling.
I know. I
Are
was
you
probably
starting to
gonna,
burn right now? Is that
yeah, I'm gonna
happening?
like burst into flames any second now. And the fatling together and a little child shall lead them. And I'm like, who's the fatling? Like,
I don't know
Aw.
what
very
that is.
nice.
I
That
know.
I
sounds
don't know.
sad.
What is a fatling a pig? Like, what is the fatling? Like, I don't know what that
I
is.
guess. I don't
I'm
know.
guessing maybe a pig or a cow.
don't
I'm
know.
thinking of things that you're trying to fatten up before you eat it.
Well,
What is
I
a
know
fatling?
enough of biblical stories because you have to in literature because they
Oh.
allude to so many verses
It's
from the
anything.
Bible, but I don't know what a fatling is.
A young animal that has been fattened in readiness for slaughter. So
Oh.
It could be anything.
like veal.
Oh God, no!
Oh,
Not again,
oh,
Mikey.
Well, it's like
I would
how is that thing supposed to be walking? It's like
That's terrible. I will never eat that.
yeah, me
Oh my
neither.
God.
But
Yeah, right.
Too late.
He's got it in his freezer right now, ladies and gentlemen.
well, at any rate,
Okay.
this you mentioned that these both were released in theaters, which I think you're also insinuating, but just to clarify, this was the last one that made it to theaters.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, just parts 1 and 2 made it to theater. The rest of them are
until we get to the most recent remake, they did not make it to the theaters
and the most recent remake wasn't in the theater, was it?
for a very short amount of time. Yeah.
Okay. Which is interesting because I thought like, so where did it go back then? Because it's not like you
Video.
can just stream it now. I guess you just
It was
have
just
to
the video
rent it.
store.
Yeah. you
So
just-
I don't know if y'all were this in deep as I was, but every Tuesday, Blockbuster and Hollywood Video got their new batch of movies. So you'd go in and there was movies.
yeah, I used to
From,
work
like-
at the movie gallery.
Oh, you did? Oh, well, there you go. You know, yeah, it's just a matter of who has the rights and who produces these movies. Kind of like Full Moon. Full Moon never went to theater, but if Full Moon made a movie, it was going straight to VHS back in
Yeah,
those
so
days.
we know that Charles Band married what's her face, who's like,
Yeah, and do you know
40
who
years
officiated the
younger-
wedding?
who?
Joe Bob.
Shut up. That's amazing.
I saw the video clip of it.
Of
Joe Bob was
course he
officiating the wedding.
did. Oh my God.
Yes.
You know what? If I ever get married
you hire him
again,
for
I
that?
want Joe Bob for that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you hire him to do that? I'd be into that. I mean, that'd be money well spent.
Yeah.
I will get him whatever beer he wants.
Lone Star, that's his favorite.
He is a
But,
Texas boy, isn't he?
yes, he is. He lives in Dallas, 4 hours north of me.
Nice.
So, I am being optimistic with the rest of the month. This is the last movie that made it to theater, so I'm assuming the quality just from here, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to enjoy
Oh.
myself.
You haven't seen part 3.
I haven't seen any of them except,
have
besides
I.
these two, I haven't seen any of them except the newest remake and the sci-fi remake. So,
Yeah, 3 is really good. I love 3. And then I love the one with Ava Mendes because Ava
I was going to say, I remember one.
Mendes.
I remember there's one that has a blonde girl who's actually like a semi-famous actress. I don't remember which one it is. Not Eva Mendes, but I think there's a part where she goes into a silo and jumps into the fire.
Ooh, hey, do you hate her?
Oh my God. That is such bullshit.
Lance, strike 3. Get him out.
I know. All these
well-
demerits over here. Yeah, neighborhood rat over here, whatever the fuck your shirt says.
Oh, damn. But honestly,
Mhm.
that's what it does look like.
That's neighborhood
Aw.
brat. You know, brat.
Yeah, so I think it's a solid first roundabout. Watch this be the only one that we like. Only 2 that we like. but we'll see what happens.
No, yeah, I think you'll like part three. I don't know about the rest of them if you'll enjoy them as much as I do, but honestly, this is not a bad franchise. So if y'all have not seen it yet and you want to watch them with us, like I said, all of them are currently streaming on HBO Max, except for parts one, and uh the Shudder one. So you can watch it on Shudder,
The remake, the
the
most recent remake.
remake. And then the Genesis one.
So I don't know if maybe we're missing one.
No, we
Yeah.
have it because I was looking at the list. We have
So Genesis is not the sci-fi remake. The sci-fi remake is just called Children of the Corn, and it's not even when I typed in Children of the Corn series, it doesn't even show up because it's called Children of the Corn from 2008. Genesis is from 2011.
well, goddamn, who the hell is remaking these freaking movies?
Like if you Google Children of the Corn 2008.
Yeah, because
Oh,
we
sorry, it's
have
2009. It's a TV movie.
yeah. So part two is Children of the Corn, the final sacrifice, right, or whatever it is, the final something. Yeah, the final sacrifice. Part three is the urban harvest, which I love. Part four is The Gathering. Part five, Ava Mendes, Fields of Terror. Part six is Isaac's Return, 666. Then we have Revelations, and we have Genesis, and then we have the new one. So, what year? Children of the Corn 2000 what?
9.
Oh my God.
Is
Is
that
that
Revolution?
is that Joey Lawrence?
No. No, it's just called Children of the Corn. It's Children of the Corn 2009 TV
Based on the
movie.
short story by Stephen King. Okay, that's interesting.
So what's the 2003? Or no, 2020, I guess.
It's
Literally just said
PG-13.
2009.
2009, Lance. It's okay. You can stop thinking.
No, I was looking at the other one. That's what
I
I
like
was.
thinking so hard right now.
But yeah,
Yeah. Okay, well, are we gonna watch that one? Because I don't even have it on the
no.
list.
No,
It's
I don't
PG-13.
think there's going to be anywhere to watch it. And also
How are we even gonna stream it? Yeah.
I think for Patreon we should do Sharks of the Corn.
You heard it here.
Yeah, let us know.
Email us slasherspod@gmail.com or message Mikey, please. Let us know what's going on. All right, so I think this is a good first Cornuary or whatever the hell we're calling it.
Burst your corn area? Oh, a cornerary.
Literally, we are recording this on the first day of 2024, y'all. So that's exciting.
Yeah,
Yay.
I've popped my corn.
He popped his corn. Oh my God. All right. And so if you want to support us monetarily, please feel free to visit our Patreon at patreon.com/slasherspod. You can join us from $1 to $10 tiers. If you want any merch, you can go to slasherspod.redbubble.com and you can get anything from coffee cans to dental dams, as Mikey would say. Yes. And then oh yeah, you can follow Mikey at Horror and Half Shell. You can follow Lance at Zombie versus Hate. You can follow me at Pathologically ADE. And don't forget to follow our pages at Slashers Pod or Mutant Goons from Beyond on Instagram and Facebook.
Just Slashers Pod. We don't need to do Mutant Goons from Beyond.
Yeah, well, the MGB page is still there, so whatever. Which
Apparently it's not going away now, so
it's not going anywhere. We got 600 followers there, so yay.
okay.
And with that, I guess goodbye. Happy New Year's, my loves. Goodbye and good die.
Goodbye. Don't die.
Die.
My God, the sun has gone down.
Spit down for a hot second there.
Oh, shut up.
Sorry, bro.
No, stop.